Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We talk at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. Hey Kindred, this is Garrett. Recently, my sister Sarah Gabbey died. Her death was unexpected, and my family is still reeling from her loss. She was very important, not only to my family, but to our whole community of friends in the area. Path of Night has a large support base of family and friends in the area who've all bonded around gaming, telling stories, and just being in each other's lives. And my sister was a big part of that community. She was responsible for most of the friendships in my life. The people that I game with around the Path of Night table are all people that I would not know if it weren't for my sister. She set me up with people in high school that I may not have reached out to, and those people are sitting at the table with me today. She introduced me to Lex at a live-action role-playing game. Said, I think you might like this guy. I continued in that live-action role-playing circle, and met other people at this table. I think she's just had a huge impact on a lot of the people that we know, a lot of people to game with. In fact, I probably wouldn't be really interested in the world of darkness if it weren't for my sister. I remember seeing her role play with her friends and thinking, oh man, that's cool. So this is a small dedication to my sister. The impact she's had on me, my family, our community, and this show. Sarah, I miss you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for everything you've done for me. And thank you to our listeners for hearing this small dedication to a wonderful woman that was taken too soon.
Last time on Path of Night. Britta and Pendragon confront one another about their feelings, and it quickly devolves. Miles accidentally disrupts the makeout session between Roman, Pendragon, and Britta. Miles sends Britta to the stage in order to end the rave on a high note and maintain the support that the coterie has gained. The song she performs raises the energy of the event, and just before the night closes, additional allies arrive. Xavier, an army of Gangrel, and Theobald arrive to the venue intent on lending their support. Wynn, where are you right now and what are you doing?
She and Kabir have wandered off. Definitely not into the sunset, but wandered off, taking a break from the party. Nominally under the guise of talking. I don't think she really knows how to start that conversation. So I think they've just been walking, holding hands, fingers interlaced. And I think Wynn is just kind of using this as a chance to kind of come back when she was fully intent earlier this evening that maybe this was the last night. And there's probably some guilt going on about that. probably decompressing a little bit from talking Weathers out of destroying the city. Still probably a little pissed at Kabir for destroying the car. There's an awful lot bottled up that she just doesn't know how to start saying at this moment.
As you, of all people, find yourself too lost in thought to take action, you notice something you might not have noticed otherwise. As you wander the woods, the two of you, every now and again, a crow perches onto a branch and watches you. At first it's one or two, then three or four, and slowly but surely, their number reaches the dozens.
Wynn is deeply suspicious.
You've seen them before. They don't behave like animals.
No.
They're not natural. There's something wrong. At a certain point, Kabir stops, having noticed them. Wynn.
Yeah, I see him too.
You know the story of these
No.
witches. Here, New England, they are a faction of people that almost no one is aware of, but their hand is behind much. Coven.
Wynn kind of raises an eyebrow in, oh, that old chestnut sort of expression.
I've heard stories. You see, the witches who make use of the Codex.
She looks visibly aggravated by the mention of the Codex.
They wouldn't just destroy their enemies. They'd cast a spell upon them and turn them into crows, pet spies, minions.
Yeah, I figured it had to be something like that.
Raven knows more of this. She was one of them.
Yeah, these ones always followed her. But she's not home right now.
They still serve me.
Does Kabir look like he heard that?
No, he doesn't seem to. He's still sort of oddly protective of you. He is watching these crows.
At the sound of Zophiel's voice, Wynn instinctively shoves Kabir behind her. We can make a contested action, but...
Wynn, now's not the time. He kind of it's a little cozy, hands on ass.
She doesn't want to be amused by that, but she definitely is.
But I must admit, I do not fear an audience.
We'll come back to that at some point, but... Kabir, there's something bad here, and I need you to make yourself safe.
I don't know how to do that.
Maybe you can do anything.
This is too much responsibility all at once. What do you want me to do? I can protect you.
She kind of she doesn't move his hands from her ass, but she grabs his hands with hers. Just
he's got he's holding on.
Yeah,
to it,
no, that's fine.
He has seized the moment.
I'm gonna embroider that on her jeans. I don't know. I just need you to be safe from him. He's in my head, and he's gonna try and hurt you because that's what he does.
Well.
And he can't hurt me.
Let us see if he is prepared for illusion. And a tree kind of grows and appears around the two of you, and you can kind of see the tree from within it. A very peculiar angle. You can feel because he's pressed right up against you. You can feel he's super confident that worked.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yes.
Inside the tree, Wynn, for at least a brief second, she feels oddly safe inside the tree with Kabir grabbing her ass.
While the two of you hide, you can see a figure moving through the darkness of the woods. And then another, and another. And then comes this loud swooping noise. And something big lands right next to the tree. And from the corner of your eyes, you recognize them, and have not seen them for a very long time. It is this hulking, winged figure made from stone.
God damn it. Wynn moves her hands to she tries to wrap her arms backwards around Kabir's waist, just so she can hold on to more of him, and puts herself between Kabir and the gargoyle. But she makes no other move to blow their cover.
The gargoyle sniffs the air. From its fingers extend claws, not terribly unlike yours. And that other figure draws closer. The ones that walk with it, right alongside. And as they get close enough, you can see them clearly. With this gargoyle is a handful of kindred.
Oh shit, is that those bitches? The Constantine Hot Topic looking Tremere bitches?
Her name is Constance. And yes, she is one of them. Right alongside her, holding her hand, is Carrie. With them is also Arabella Rowlands.
Great.
The other two send this shiver up your spine. Your hackles rise. And you see Raven. She's covered in dirt, filthy, with this wild look in her eyes. She is not there. And while the group of them don't seem to actually clearly see that there's anything unusual about this tree, she's watching you. And with absolute certainty, you know that Zophiel, the thing inside of Raven, is staring right at you. The other is a man with a slightly haggard and overgrown beard. Hair that comes down past his ears, has this he has a very cult leader vibe to him. He is well built. For whatever reason, the button-down shirt that he's wearing no longer has its buttons, and it's just wide open, showing off his abs. Around his neck hangs this kind of the silver, very thin chain that has an ankh hanging at the end of it.
Wynn closes her eyes just so no one sees her roll them. Yes, this is a very bad situation, but this guy is a little too much.
The people gathered seem to defer to him. And interestingly, when he walks, Raven walks. It stays close. It stays to his right.
Weird.
You get the impression that Zophiel might be bound. Kabir does not whisper to you, but he definitely just holds on to you and remains perfectly still, intent on doing whatever it is that you need him to do. And then, the man who is showing off his sick abs speaks up. Wynn, friend, you are not in any sort of trouble right now. In fact, I've come all of this way to help you.
Wynn has been watching and trying to formulate a plan in her head for how they can get out of this, because she is certain that this is going to come to combat, and while she is fairly confident in her own ability to survive the onslaught, as always, it is the people she cares about that she worries about more.
I know that Ambrogino has been lying to you, using you towards nefarious ends that I know you would never support. I know that he has bribed you with necromancy, and I know that he has been manipulating the spirit of a boy that you care for, driving him to a darker path. He means to make you desperate and helpless. He has done the same to me and others here.
Wynn Kabir will feel her body tense when he brings up Joey and that someone is harming him.
Kabir responds by holding you in a grapple, like making it very clear he intends to keep you in that tree, even if you don't want to. Unfortunately, it's not. It does not feel like it's a hold strong enough to contain you, but
he could get lucky. He's done it before. She puts her cheek on her shoulder to kind of whisper back to him. I need you to call Johnny, and I need you to let him know where I am. You don't need to give him any other details, but let the coterie know where I am.
You could feel one hand hesitate and reluctantly leave your ass to reach for his own pocket.
She will reach down and pull his phone out of his back pocket and move it to his hand.
He kind of accepts the pass off and then flips the flip phone open.
Mm-hmm. And while he's doing that, you travel in some very odd company for someone who claims to call me a friend.
The man smiles. You're not wrong, but I don't hide it from you either. I have gone down dark roads, but I have done so because it is only there that I have found the answers to the very troubles that you are attempting to stop.
Is that how you lost the buttons on your shirt?
Yes, it was quite the struggle.
Sure looks like it. She kind of takes a breath, that no need for air, sort of inflection more than anything.
Kabir raises the phone so that you can see that it says no signal.
She nods and lets him keep holding her. Why are you coming to me?
I am coming to you to offer an alternative.
To what?
To the lie that is the red sign. To the lies of Ambrogina Giovanni. An alternative to this illusion that there is no hope and no options available to you.
I'm listening.
The tomes that they seek. One of them in particular pertains to the secrets of life and death, mastery over it.
The Ex Libris Necro?
Yes. He tells you that he will give you all of the means that he has available to him in order to help. However, the tome is all you need. That tome carries with it the power to bring life to the dead. It allows you to fabricate a body, a permanent vessel for the dead. Your boy need not be lost. And Ambrogina would see you pass off this opportunity for salvation to him so that he might claim it for himself. I think you should use it. I think you should have it for yourself.
How altruistic.
There is certainly something I gain out of it. But all I want is Ambrogina to lose.
Why?
It is as I told you. What he is doing to you, he has done to others. My master, his grace, Roman Pendragon, has demanded that I seek all manner of means to defeat the Sabbat once and for all. Not just the Sabbat, but the thing in that dreaded house as well. He is a wise leader, and trusted me to safeguard the Camarilla from the occult threats that haunt it. I consider Ambrogina one of these threats.
Wynn listens to all this, and there's an awful lot that resonates. Some of it's conveniently timed, which does definitely get her suspicion train rolling. And she knows that she's a sucker for keeping her people safe, and I don't think that's ever been something subtle. Historically, this is how people take advantage of her. And of all the things she's tired of being, it's a tool. But she does listen.
I intend to use the Codex to harvest the power of Zophiel. He says its name out loud, very casually and not caring at all.
She tenses a little bit.
I will tear its essence apart.
And do what with it?
Wield it against our enemies.
What are these people getting out of it?
Define these people.
The ones you're with right now. The gargoyle, the witches.
They are loyal to me. They have learned mystic arts.
Infernalism.
Infernalism, he nods. They have gained power, and more importantly, control over their own lives. All of them liberated from their masters.
How are they liberated if they require a demon to give them power?
Well, I should tell you, the fate that awaits kindred who die after their final death is no better. When it is over for you, you will go to hell. Your spirit will be ravaged by the things that wait there.
How long have you been watching me?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Well, a long time. I watched your triumph over the primogen of the clan that you serve. I watched you fall in love. I watched you see to it that a mother knew the story of her son. I watched your struggles with Mr. Perfect. You see, your past, your future, much of it is laid bare to me. I don't need to have been there. I can simply know. And I know that Ambrogino is not going to get what he wants without you.
And how do I get what I want? If you know all this information, you know what I want.
I already gave you that. The tome.
If I'm not kindred.
Wait, no. Don't use it on yourself.
Then how do I get what I want?
You use it on the boy.
I want more than one thing out of my life.
You have more than one use of the book. But I think the thing you want most is to help that boy.
You're not wrong. What fresh hell am I gonna unleash this time? In the name of protecting someone I love?
All that happens is there's one less demon, one more triumph over the Sabbat, one less shard of an antediluvian threatening your people, and one more boy living his life again.
And what's the cost?
A bit of danger. There is something I need.
Which is?
Pages from the Codex. They were collected from a chantry not long ago. Within those pages are what I need in order to tear Zophiel apart and use its energies to accomplish our ends.
So Wynn contemplates for a moment, trying to think of what pages he wouldn't have. Because Arabella had the book, and Johnny had the pages, which he gave to Wynn, which she gave to Raven. Wynn considers this. Is that a decision I need to make now?
No. You have a great deal going on and very much to think about, and I do not feel a need to rush you.
What will happen to Raven?
Ideally, she would no longer be possessed. There would be nothing to possess her.
Is she still in there?
Somewhere, suppressed.
And you can control something that could suppress her.
Oh my, yes.
I feel like I should probably ask at this point, who the fuck are you?
I am Zacharias Slane of the Tremere. Lord Reese's oldest enemy.
Wynn has a lot of feelings at the moment. They're not all bad, but they're a lot. And right now, she just wants another Khalif joint on a rooftop. How tight a rein on his leash do you have right now?
Kneel, he says, and it kneels.
Can you command him to tell you where I am?
He looks at it. I can control its physical actions. For example, bring me Wynn, and Raven starts marching towards you. That's enough. It stops. She stops standing right in front of the tree.
See, here's the thing. Our buddy here is under orders not to harm me or my coterie, but that does not extend to all the people I care about. And I need some degree of assurance that whatever you're going to do with him is not going to cause more harm to the people that I care about.
I see no reason that anyone you care about should be harmed in all of this.
But you can't control him fully.
I'll put it to you this way. There is what control I have, and there is no control at all. One of these is to your benefit.
How would I reach you?
He looks to Constance, and she whips out a cell phone and tosses it next to the tree.
She ponders, looking at it. Is there a time limit?
The gargoyle starts to prowl, kind of circling the tree. A time limit sort of is the sort of thing that an enemy does. I believe we can be friends. Call me when you're ready.
We hate the same people, so we're off to a good start there.
I thought so too. We will be on our way. Please, enjoy your evening.
Within reason, you too.
He turns and heads off. Once they're a sufficient distance away, you can kind of still, you have very good night vision. Mm-hmm. Once they're far enough away, they hold hands in a circle and vanish. The crows begin to disperse.
Wynn kind of gives Kabir a reassuring hold and kind of closes her eyes and lets her head drop a little bit, like she's just tired.
Oh, good thing we have signal.
We do know. And she will kind of pat his arms, okay, you can let me go now.
And your phone rings.
She'll kind of push Kabir's hand out of the way so she can get in her back pocket. Wynn here.
Hello, Wynn. This is Miles.
How's your night?
Okay, so far.
This is probably not going to be any big surprise to you, but we're probably going to need to have a coterie chat. I don't know what you're calling for, but maybe start that process rolling.
I assume we're going to have one anyway, since we had a few visitors tonight.
Oh?
What has happened since I last saw you?
I genuinely don't know how to explain.
Okay.
There were people, someone you may or may not want to see.
That describes a lot of people. Anyways.
Your child.
Oh. Sorry, it took me a minute.
What a great dad.
She passed her accounting already, it's fine.
She's off to college, you don't give a shit about her anymore.
She's got her own life to live, Anyways, have you seen Neil recently?
I smoked a joint with him on the roof.
Okay, well, I can't find him.
I mean, I would start by, leaving a box of disorganized receipts out and see if he shows up to fix it.
I don't have a box of disorganized receipts.
You fucking wouldn't, would you? If he's gotten kidnapped again, I swear to God, I'm not kidding about the baby Bjorn. As Wynn hangs up with Miles, she reaches out and picks up the phone.
Neil, you've been jostled about, moved through water, at least you hope so. And after what has to be 20 minutes of nonstop movement, you're plopped down into a chair. You hear and feel chains securing you. Your eyes are forcibly opened, revealing to you a dark room. But all of the walls are cement. There's pipes everywhere. You're not sure where the hell you are, but you recognize the smell as as you remain still long enough for the scent to really affect your nostrils, since you can't quite breathe or anything right now. You're in the Warrens, deep, deep underground. This is the realm of the Nosferatu, and where the Coterie was able to find one of its missing members in a hidden Tremere facility, you know they would never find you here, especially now without you. Because your eyes can't move, you quickly lose track of the man who has kidnapped you. But eventually, you hear the sounds of a chair being dragged to you. He flips it so it's facing backwards, and Renwick sits. The two of you are face to face. He reaches out. He pulls the stake from your heart. You try anything? Well, don't try anything.
Neil blinks his eyes and rolls them around because, having them forced open and unable to move, he just sort of adjusts. The chains clink a little bit as he kind of moves his body in relief, and then looks at Renwick and goes, I would have come willingly if maybe... What was the point of that?
I don't know.
Why aren't we going
that you're just going to come willingly? I also don't know whether or not this guy who has Fester has you under his sway. You hurt Fester. Fester's terrified of you.
That visibly puts a look of just utter despair on Neil's face.
His eyes narrow. If Fester can't trust you, how can I?
Not a terrible point, I guess. Why aren't we doing something though? What do we need? What do I need to do? Fester's in a box.
You need to focus on answering the questions that I have so I can get to the bottom of this. You've been witness to a lot.
Okay, well then, hurry up with the questions then, because I'm worried about my friend.
On the night you were being held, awaiting trial for sins against the Camarilla. What happened? How did you get out of that?
Get out of the trial for the blood?
Yeah. The Assamite ties are obvious now. You're literally guilty of everything you were accused of.
Not everything. Though I was being accused of being a Diablerist. I was accused of being my sire in disguise, which
I think your coterie's made its stance on Diablerie pretty fucking clear.
It has not. I have not. Or maybe I have, but not in the way that you're accusing me of.
Explain.
I'm not a Diablerist.
Don't bullshit me.
I'm not a fucking Diablerist. Can
Don't
you look?
bullshit me.
Then look.
How do I know that you haven't reduced your generation, you're not just soul masking and hiding it?
Because I can't do that. You want to go find a Tremere and test my blood?
Is that a fucking joke? Everyone knows that the Tremere pulling out of this area would be almost impossible to find one. And you would know that because you've been providing information to Marcus Vitel.
I've never even met Marcus Vitel. The first time I've even seen the guy was when I looked back at the bathroom.
That guy spends a third of his time up your prince's ass. What do you mean you've never seen him before?
I haven't even been around. All I know is that now I'm back. And immediately before we had to deal with everything with Rave, Miles was like, you got to keep an eye on this guy because he's constantly around. He keeps being the places I am and I don't trust him.
Fuck that. What happened between you and Fester?
The night he burned? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about in general?
What happened the night he burned?
Fester and I went to the party. The gala that Prince Warwick was putting
The kill
on.
box.
The what?
The kill box.
Well, yeah, that's what it became.
He gets quiet.
When all the fucking Sabbats showed up, yeah. I was there to get Britta back from Pendragon.
And you were involved in the Pendragon escape.
Yeah. Because we were surrounded by Sabbat fucking dying. And Fester got left behind, left to just, die? Because I saw all the Nosferatu disappear, but he was still there, alone, in a truck trying to get away. Thank God I fucking found him. And yeah, Pendragon was there, and Britta was there, and a couple other Bruja. I don't know their names. But yeah, of course we got out of there. We escaped. It was a Sabbat invasion.
Then why'd you light him on fire if you're on the same side? If you're his hero, why is he so terrified of you?
Sometime, I have theories on this one, I don't know, but sometime, I think the night before my trial when I was being held, or just before the dawn, I vaguely remember somebody I didn't recognize coming into the room where I was being held. I now have reason to believe that was my sire coming back for
Your sire.
And he got in my head.
Back from the dead just to get in your head.
Dead? He's not dead.
Your sire's dead, pal. What happened between you and Fester?
What do you mean my sire's dead? No, he isn't. He's been in Alamut for decades. He abandoned the Camarilla and ran. What do you mean
Tell
he's
me what
dead?
happened with you and Fester.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there.
Get there.
My sire got in my head. And it was just Fester and I. We managed to escape with Pendragon and Britta, and Pendragon took Britta to a room with another Bruja, and then the other Bruja, and then the other Bruja, she brought Fester and I out into a different hotel room on the way back because the sun was coming up. And
so where's she?
She was, she decided to just take a shower, I guess, and
who was she?
I don't know. One of Pendragon's, guards. And
okay, so it's you, Fester, and a nameless guard.
I don't know her name. So maybe that was rude, but I was terrified of Pendragon and everything that had happened earlier in the night with the Sabbat.
Okay, what happened next?
Then it was just me and Fester talking, trying to figure out
alone.
Yeah.
Go on.
What to do next. And then all I remember is just these words and images and the way will be opened through fire, something like that. It was confused, and then all I remember after that is there were scorch marks and the shattered remains of a Molotov and a broken window and Fester running, screaming into the dawn. I was terrified, and then my sire came out of the bathroom, and the Bruja was staked. She was staked on the floor in the shower. Not staked. In torpor, though. She had been tortured through abilities of my sire has that he's learned from the Assamites. And we had a discussion, and he said, you have to walk the path of blood and reclaim the heart's blood, and he wanted me to diablerize this Bruja, and I couldn't do that. That's insane. That's monstrous. And he left, and I ran. I panicked and I ran. And just ran away.
Who else can corroborate this story?
Britta and Pendragon know that, like, everything at least up to the point where we got into the hotel room, but after that, it would just be the two of us and whoever Pendragon's guard is.
Your sire died to a bloodhound almost a half-decade ago.
He didn't die to a bloodhound. Who said he died?
To a bloodhound. It's recorded. I've got the logs.
Well, somebody lied then, because he's not dead.
Then who else saw him?
Who else saw him?
Yes.
Well, they saw him a few times, but he's always wearing a disguise.
Who else? Who else saw and ID'd him?
ID'd him? Nobody, just me.
Just you?
But he came after us in Boston.
Okay, fine. Who saw him then?
Well, nobody, because he was in Obfuscate.
Then how do you know?
Then how do I know what?
That someone else saw him. How do you know that you saw him?
Well, because I could see him.
You could see him, but no one else could.
He was wearing a different face.
So how did you know it was him?
I didn't put that together until afterwards when we were talking in the hotel. And the same with the woman who ate Jubair in New York.
Okay, fine. Who saw him?
The woman in New York, the whole coterie did.
But did they see him?
They saw a woman because he was wearing a different face.
So he came in, he threw a Molotov cocktail, or was it you?
It was me. But because he got in my head. Because apparently, unlike me, unlike the rest of us, he's still capable of dominating people around him.
How much do you trust your own memories?
I would have said I trusted them a lot, but now I didn't even remember him coming. I didn't even remember when things were put into my head until the bottle was out of my hand. So I don't know. You want me to be totally honest? I don't know.
What do you know about the coming Sabbath siege?
I know that a pack called the Killing Spree has been here for a little while, trying to sow chaos. I know that there's a mole somewhere in the city feeding information to the Sabbat. Specifically, one of them wore a ghoul suit to go talk to. I don't know this. I don't know their ranks in the Sabbat, but a La Sombra named Carmen from the Killing Spree when they were all in New York talking. I know that much. Miles wanted me to look for the mole. I haven't had much of a chance yet. Like I said, and the same with the Marcus Vital thing. I was waiting until we were going to hold court again and start looking for the patterns. When I looked at the ghoul suit, whoever it was strong enough to hide who they were, and it's hard to hide things from me. So I was.
But you didn't think this possession suit using obfuscate was your sire?
No.
Why?
It didn't. Because my sire was a zealot, but a different kind than the Sabbat. And the Sabbat.
And what if this was just another face? I don't get it. Where do you draw the line, Neil?
Actions. Actions have patterns. And whoever was in the ghoul suit was being promised archbishopship of New Haven, and that is not a thing my sire gives a shit about. My sire is obsessed with justice, of killing the Get of Cain.
Except you haven't seen him in decades.
I saw
so you
him
have no idea
like a week ago.
About. And before that?
It was a long time. Because he left. Because he ran after whatever changed in him changed. Or maybe nothing ever changed and I just started seeing him differently. I don't know.
Vital has Fester.
Yes. I saw it.
I've been looking into Vital's past. It's not good.
I thought he was the prince in Washington.
He was the prince in D.C. But he came in as some sort of young neonate early on, took the place by storm, and then no one expected it. He's powerful. powerful in ways that no young kindred could be. He swept in, he took over, he started looking for information on intercontinental ballistic weaponry.
What?
This guy is insane. He was influential and extremely powerful, but someone had something on him that forced him to leave his city and go with the fleeing princes. And if my information is right, it's the Vikos. He's in touch with the Vikos in some way.
That would... Miles, for whatever reason I haven't gotten a chance to look into yet, was pretty convinced that Vital was bad news. And when I came back with the idea, with the knowledge that there was a mole in the city, like directly feeding secrets, I knew, well, I think there's a reason that was where I was going to start. So, I mean, if he's a Ventru, a powerful Ventru, it wouldn't be that hard to get a possession suit. I was trying to track down, or I might...
Bad news, buddy. I don't think this guy's a Ventru.
What? What do you mean?
On more than one occasion when being watched, he's demonstrated control over darkness.
He's a La Sombra?
Their city. My city.
My city?
Yeah, we don't know yet.
I know.
My city's got a La Sombra stalking it. Hand up the prince's ass, puppeting him.
He's not puppeting Miles.
How do you know? How do I know you're not being puppeted by this guy?
I mean, I guess you don't. But I can say pretty definitively that Miles is by nature resistant to being someone's puppet.
He worked for Upton for any long time.
And look where that went.
Looks like Roman Pendragon's got an interest in his affairs. Every time I see this guy, he's involved with some kind of elder. What the fuck do you mean he's not interested? He's not resilient. He leans in.
A neonate who is constantly being harassed or challenged or tried to be bought by elders. And he's still in charge of the city. He hasn't buckled. He said no to Pendragon. He's made deals with elders to keep things moving in the city, but it's just someone's puppet. It would surprise me.
How do I know that I can trust you? He kind of finally says, just flustered.
The honest answer is, I don't know. Trust has been kind of hard to come by these days.
Here's what I know. The Camel's been falling apart, turning on itself.
In this city, that's by design.
The attack, the one that happened on the mansion, the one where Elsa Linden bit it.
Leo, looks sad when that is mentioned.
There was information of a coming attack.
Wait, the Webb knew that was going to happen?
Agents were sent to monitor, and they watched them close in on the location. Warwick abandoned us. Warwick left political rivals to be destroyed.
That was just a move on the board in the Jihad? That's all that was?
Everything is just a move on the board. That's why I'm trying to figure out your involvement. You're a move on the board, Neil, but whose? Whose move are you?
I'd love to say mine, but I don't know. I'm just trying to... How much am I... And Neil stops and looks around, shifts a little bit in the chains. Went for a fucking penny, I guess. Have you looked in the sky recently?
I'm going to punch you in the face. Can we please stay on topic?
This is on topic.
It is not.
Yes, it is. You asked me whose move I am.
And then you asked me if I look at the sky.
Because I need to know the baseline that I'm working here with. Because my answer doesn't make sense unless I know you're on the same page that I'm on.
And that means looking at the sky.
Have you seen the red star? Have you seen the signs of Gehenna, Renwick? The end times, the final nights.
It's a fairy tale.
It's not.
They went through the same thing in the Dark Ages.
Renwick, it's
not. The end of the world, and they thought that the coming of the 13th generation would be the doom of kindred kind. Guess what, pal? It wasn't. It just sucked. And it's gonna suck again, and then things will be fine, and then there's going to be another Gehenna problem, and things are gonna suck again for a while.
Shaw was trafficking pages of the Book of Nod. And I got my hands on them. Your sire, I used to do a lot of work for your sire.
And then you read the Sabbat propaganda.
No. This is older than Sabbat propaganda.
Oh, come on.
And I saw the signs, okay? You and I both traffic in information.
You saw the signs.
I did see the signs.
What were the signs, Neil? What are the signs?
The signs are everywhere. They are small and big. They are the star in the sky. They are a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily know if I want to talk about.
Okay, fine. You see all the stuff. Where's your sire?
Somewhere.
Wow. Okay, so you see the end of the world literally everywhere and can't say where the fuck your sire is?
Yeah,
this guy who's been dead, by the way, for 5 years.
Whose name is on that report? Because he's not dead.
He was killed by cock robin.
No, he wasn't. Because he's alive.
Okay. And you see him all the time?
No, I've only seen him a couple of times in the last couple of months.
But were you alone? Are you sure of what you saw?
I'm sure of what I saw that time. Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely am. No question. As sure as I am that the end is coming. So you want to know whose side I'm on? I'm on the side where I just want to be close to the people I care about when the world burns and everything falls apart. And nothing else really matters. I'm just trying to do a little bit of good before it all ends. That's what I want. So yeah, I've read a bunch of stuff, and you can call it Sabbat propaganda, or you can call it historical documents, or you can call it all sorts of things.
Historical documents? Oh, fuck off.
Okay, well, maybe you don't like it.
Of course I don't like it. It's pretentious bullshit.
Okay, well, I kind of wish that was true.
Really, the Book of Nod, the wanderings of Cain, the ancient secret history of vampire kind from before the Great Deluge.
Oh, you know
think...
You've read it?
No, I haven't read it.
Okay.
I'm aware of it.
Sure.
I'm aware of how incredibly fucking stupid it sounds.
I know it sounds stupid.
Do you have any idea how young any religion that would source someone like Cain is?
No, I'm not really a student of history.
My God. I cannot believe you. You know, there's a pack of Sabbat that calls themselves Steak and Bake.
Okay.
And you mean to tell me that you've been studying their fucking texts, and because of that you have something intelligent to say?
Not their texts, no. Because I think the Sabbat are fucking stupid about this too.
Oh, is everyone stupid about this except for you, Neil?
You know what's in the house on Ogden Street, right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, don't oh my goodness me. Your sire, Shaw, was trafficking information with the caretaker of that place.
Yes, he was.
So you know what's there.
I do.
Okay. So tell me I'm fucking crazy.
What's your point?
Tell me I'm crazy then.
Yeah, you're crazy.
If you actually knew what was in there, you wouldn't be calling me crazy right now. Okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would.
Are you calling me crazy just to protect yourself? Because you don't actually believe it?
From what, Neil? What am I trying to protect myself from?
Fear, man.
Fear?
Of the grander scope of what's going on.
I live underground.
I know.
What is a more fearful existence than that?
You'd be surprised how afraid you can get.
Yeah, I doubt that.
You wanted to know
to get Vital.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to get
Fester
out of there. Kind of nods.
Neil nods too.
You don't work for Vital, do you?
I've never met the man.
Shifts uncomfortably.
I wish you had to just, I get why you didn't, but I wish you had to just kind of had a conversation with me about this stuff rather than...
Oh, shut up. He kind of starts pacing back and forth. Look. Vital's a problem.
I mean, honestly, even if he's not like a nuke happy Lasammer or whatever the fuck, he's causing instability and problems in the city right before a mass siege is coming from the Sabbat. He kidnapped Fester. That's all I need. I mean, that's all I need to get, help Miles and the rest of the coterie to go help beat his ass. I don't know.
I don't know if I can trust you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but if you'll permit me to be a little selfish for a second, you staked and kidnapped me in a bathroom, so I don't know how much I can trust you.
Touche.
So
He walks over and starts undoing your chains.
Neil gets up, ducking his head a little bit. So where's that leave us? What do we go now?
We get Fester.
Okay. Now I suppose you got a phone down here. We'll have to go up a little bit to get some signal.
Come with me. He takes you to this payphone that's on this massive, confusing-looking rig. And I'll make your calls.
I'm gonna call the prince, and we're gonna get Fester back. And then if he never wants to talk to me again, I understand. But so long as he's okay, that's all that matters.
Fine. Let's get Fester.
We can agree on that much. And Neil picks up the receiver and starts dialing numbers.
Path of Night is a Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Venture was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez. Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was composed for Path of Night by Brian Matolius. Find him online at brianmatolius.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show on coffee.com/pathofnight. Find us on twitter.com/pathofnightpod, on facebook.com/pathofnightpodcasts, or email us at pathofnightpodcasts@gmail.com. See you next time, Kindred.
I am Zacharias Slane of the Tremere. Lord Reese's oldest enemy.
Win. No, that's the correct response.
Yeah.
She made the sound, but Garrett made the face. It was like both of them together.
There was an immediate
That was on purpose.
Frenzy check to
No
best
shit.
friend check?
God, this tastes awful. But the back end's not bad.
His sentence was a pickleback, basically.